Good Wednesday evening to you. Welcome to Worldwide Ramblings. My name is Jack Willard. Let me bring this a little lower. There's my on-air sign. Cool. Hi, Richard. Howdy, Jack. Welcome to you. Hello to everyone. As they file in. Vermont is here, says Ted. Patrick Wilburn as well. Good evening. Tammy J. Not Tess J, or is it? Hey, y'all. Brendan Noyce is here. Hello, Bren. Welcome. And also Heather Feather. You come and go quickly sometimes. So how are you, Heather? Marty Greco is here. I think I'm prepared for that. I think I'm prepared for Marty Greco to come in. Here's Marty. Marty on the bridge. Very, very cool. Terry with an I is here. Cara Slaw. Hi, everyone. Gail George as well. Serena Kinney. What is that? Kinney Shoes, right? Kinney Shoes. I seem to remember that from my past. Darlene Koberstein, hi, Jack and all. Lori Merrick is here as remember that from my past. Darlene Koberstein, hi, Jack and all. Lori Merrick is here as well. Where are you from, Terry with an I? Where are you watching us from tonight? When I say where are you from, I don't mean where you were born. I mean, where are you tonight? Fancy Nancy DeMarco. Hello, Jack and family. Welcome. Boy, it's been kind of wild lately, Nancy. I don't know if at my age I should be on this roller coaster. If it's going to go upside down at any point, I definitely made a mistake. I don't do upside down anymore, and I sure don't do spinning around. No, no spider ride for me. That black ride, remember? Also I'm thinking of the old-fashioned rides. Can't do those anymore. I think I could do a wooden roller coaster. I can do a Ferris wheel. That's a good-looking guy in that picture, LOL. You know it, Marty Greco. You know it. Almost called you a player. I guess I did. Joanne Nitzy is here. Hi, Jack and everyone. Welcome to you. Not Large Marge is here. Hello, Jack. Donna from Eastern Ohio. Okay, I remember now. That's Eastern again. Hi, Jack and all with some roses, it looks like. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Tammy J. I decided to use my actual name. Yeah, I figured that. Can I call you Tammy Tessie? That's kind of got a ring to it. Tammy Tessie. And we have already 44 watching and 7 likes. Belinda Taylor is here. Hi, Belinda. Not from the Go-Go's. Not Belinda Carlisle, who has a new album with Sir Elton John. Serena Kinney says, new here. Well, welcome to Worldwide Ramblings. We do this Wednesday nights and usually on Saturday nights at 10 p.m. East Coast time. But have your, please subscribe. We're getting real close to 5,000. We haven't, 5,000, 10,000. We haven't hit it yet, have we? I can't see it yet. I can't see it, but we're getting close to 10,000. So let's do that. Let's get that over with, okay? And let me know. Um, so please subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell. Sometimes we just pop on live, pop on to pop off, and you'll know about it if you're near your device. Or if I put up a pre-recorded video. Last night I put up a pre-recorded video, and for me it's a hot one. It's a hot one. We'll talk about that. I'll go to it in a minute. And I'm going to do content because I know people tune in and say, well, what was he going to say? 15, 20 minutes of hello? And then they tune out, the people in the replay crowd that are not really part of our regular family here, but they saw a title that they liked. So I'm cognizant of that. How long I'll be cognizant of anything, I do not know. I do not know, Belinda. So welcome. There are a few new people here. New Philadelphia reminds me of the new Middletown. That's what the Chinese called the downtown store that used to be Tompkins, the new Middletown. Like, we're going to take over. I think there's some of that going on. Can't do that in Arkansas. Governor Huckabee will not let you buy land there. She won't let you. She's not going to have a takeover. Nothing wrong with Asian people buying businesses. But I think there should be limits. I think there should be limits because, well, down the road, America can look very, very different when you see that Americans don't own much of anything, you know. So Sammy hits the thanks button to get us going for $2.79. Elvis is alive, he proclaims. Sammy, I don't have your photo, do I? Don't have it yet. Hearts Wild, hi to all new people, and hi to you, Hearts Wild. Glad you're joining us. Scott Baker, could Pastor Bob sing a gospel song on your podcast? Well, I don't have a podcast, Scott. People use that word, but I don't really, what I do is not a podcast. That's different. And Scott, I think, is a non-believer, but he's a very nice one. And that's fine. That's fine. Feel free to comment on the newest video. I'm going to look at that list in a minute. We're going to have a little bit of new church information for you. Tammy Tessie is saying, hey, Nancy DeMarco. Yeah. So thank you very much, Sammy. And thank you, Not Large Marge. $5 on the thanks button. Flexing, are you? Have you been to Crunch Fitness, Not Large Marge? Well, I appreciate that very much. Is Shelly here? Brenda will say hello to people that aren't actually here. She has an imaginary friend. He lives in the woods. And Pat Pate, hey, Jack, from Sweet Home, Alabama. Well, there you go. Don't get much more Americana than that. Welcome, Pat. We usually see you comment in the replays or the pre-recorded videos. Hearts Wild, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Yes, let's get to 10,000. Let's get to 10,000 people before, the end of all times. Thank you, Marge, and thank you, Sammy. The thanks button is right there at the bottom of the screen. So let me see here. When I go to another screen, I can't see what's commenting temporarily. So don't ask me a question or something, all right? Because I won't see it right away, and I could lose it. Let's see. That's photos. That's inbox. Didn't I bring my channel up in a separate? I guess I didn't. Let's see here. Hopefully I haven't cut anything off. Go to my face, my cartoon face. Thank you, our good friend in Australia, for that artwork. Here we are, the sign that we are live. So we call this New Bob Joyce Church Info. Bob and his house update, and pictures of a BMW Classic, the coolest BMW I've ever seen. Never seen one in that color. It's all coming up here, so don't go away. Right now, our video that we put up around this time last night, it's like 24 hours ago, we put up Wild New Bob Joyce video. And the count is higher than it says here. They're always behind. When I look at the analytics, I sometimes see a pleasant jump from where it is. It's going towards 3,200 views right now in 24 hours. So for me, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So we're very happy about that. I wasn't the first person to put the video up, but if you're going to put that little 29 seconds of video at Pastor Bob Joyce's house up, you need to do some narration, you know. But I'm the chronological storyteller, so I'm more likely to do it. We've been doing this since 2018. Someone else may not be of the same opinion, and that's fine. But we'll look at some of the comments there from the new Bob Joyce video. Let me go back to live stream and talk about new church info. Just got a little bit for you. Hi, Neil. Thank you. Thank you very much. Something about the corner of the mouth. I'm not going to try and decipher you now, Neil, in real time. No blowing horn allowed, Brenda. Well, she's noisy. She's noisy. Jack Shelley lives across the Detroit River from me. I'm blowing my horn for her, LOL. So you're not talking about Shelley in Canada? Remember, I don't know my geography, but that doesn't sound right to me. But then again, it probably, who knows? Who knows? I've got a GED, you know? So the new church, don't have an open date for you, but the new church will have about a total of 300 seats. 300 seats. They have about 150 now if they cram it. And then they have a separate building, the fellowship hall, which can also hold another 150. So the new church can hold 300. And they're not sure what they're going to do about an overflow room. There is talk of a tent. I think there is a prefab building you could put next to it, you know, but they are very aware that they are not solving the problem. Yes, there can be 150 more people in the sanctuary with Pastor Bob. And yes, if they do come up with some kind of an overflow room and a tent or whatever right next to this new building, you will meet Pastor Bob. He'll be sure to. And then at the end, you can come into the main sanctuary, which should be ready, you know, maybe July, maybe earlier. It's not been told to me exactly when, but according to a source, they are very serious about a larger sanctuary on that same property. They bought 9 acres of land. They are very, that's phase 2 of the operation. And they are very serious about getting that together. And without knowing for sure, because, you know, when they talk to me, they are, and I have more than one source, when they talk to me, they are kind of cagey in what they tell me, but they will put many more seats in the new sanctuary, and they will have a real crew. Not that they don't have a crew now, but to build something like that, if you do it with volunteers, 2030, 2028, what, 2027? You can't do that. You know, you've got to have a real crew. There's this idea, oh, well, you know, they don't take an offering. They have a place where you can put your offering. And I have a feeling, because of the love for Pastor Bob, and hopefully more than that, the love for Jesus Christ and knowing what the scripture says about giving your first fruits, that people do put money in that box. They do put money in that box. So it is not like, oh, it's there. You don't have to worry about giving anything there. Well, you're really wasting your time going to church. If you throw $3 in that box and then go to Applebee's and spend $65, we know where your priorities are. You wasted your time. You're worshiping man, as Pastor Bob said before 1,000 people at the Horner Hall Theater in Hot Springs last August. You don't need Paul. You don't need Cyrus. You don't need Bob Joyce. And you don't need Elvis. You need Jesus. That's what he said. And he means it. He means it. So they're very serious about getting, because they realize they have not solved the problem at all, except that 150 more people will get into the sanctuary. But what we have here, ladies and gentlemen, is a phenomenon. We have a phenomenon. We have people coming from all over the world, and they're going to need. Oh my goodness! I hope that's not Richard. We're going to need. Well, no, and he is here, Mister Jack. It's not that I mean I don't want to hear from you. It's just like, who knows what you could send me, Richard? Not that I'll ever say. Oh dear, I don't really do TikTok, Richard. You're a TikTok kind of guy, aren't you? Aren't you? I thought I would get involved in TikTok when I thought that was going to be the primary platform for Tucker. He's got the TCM network, but as I say, I want my Tucker on the regular network. I love the long form interviews he does some of the time, but I want the Tucker who comes on at 8 o'clock every night or 7 o'clock and does that 12-minute open that he used to write himself and they would load it to teleprompter for him. I want that Tucker back. That's what I want. And I know I'm not the only one. And even if he only does it 3 nights a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever, because I know he wants the freedom to travel and do interviews that he has to go, far away places. They usually come to him either in Maine or his Florida home. But I want my Tucker back. So welcome, Grand Patriarch Richard Lyon. I got a cool gift to show you also that someone gave me for my birthday. Claudette, pretty little Claudette is here. Cindy G in Tennessee. Well, I love when it rhymes. I love it, Cindy G. Hello, everybody. Hello. I think I'm reminding myself of Peter Noon. This guy is incredible. He's 76 years old, and he's touring like he's 26. And I don't know why so much. I mean, he'll play small towns, he'll play medium towns, and once in a while a big town. But he has the fan club. He actually sends merchandise and badges when you join the fan club, etc. Lyric sheets that he autographs and things. He sends them out. You see him licking the envelope. I'm going to mail that tomorrow morning. He says he'll do this till he's 86 and then crash and burn. We hope that doesn't happen. The Grand Patriarch is here, and here comes the Grand Poobah, Todd Bradshaw. Hello, Tessie, he says. Ted and Brenda, always good to see you here. But that Jack guy, he is one big pain. Hope you all have had a good week so far. Jody Smith is even here. Hello, Jody. Did you work today, or are you just getting off of work, or were you off? Tammy Tessie says, very good week so far, Ted Bradshaw. Hope you have too. Well, I know that Todd is a hard-working man, and we're looking forward to a musical interlude for him that we won't get caught with a copyright. Paula Weiss is here from Weiss Supermarkets. Hi, Jack. Welcome. Names often remind me of something. They often do. I knew a few Jodys. I knew a male Jody and a female Jody, and one we weren't sure. I made that last part up. I made that last part up. How are you, Paula? Where are you watching us from? Deborah Lake, hello. Came in late, but you're here and we're so glad. How you feeling? Any update? I don't want to say any more. You're like, oh, the first thing he's going to ask me about is how I'm feeling, you know? I just don't want to forget about that. I understand. I understand. But if you do have an update, you just share it when you're ready. Richard, um, down there in West Palm Beach, Florida. Yeah, he's living the life, but he's a hardworking man during the day, Monday through Friday, and has a nice condo down there, not too far from Hannity and, of course, the 47th president of the United States. We have 85 watching now and 35 likes. So, doing a church update. I think that's basically it. I had said that I had a feeling. I'm not saying I still don't have the feeling because, we have our plans and God just smiles. But Pastor Bob Joyce would feel that he knows what his plans are because he prays and he knew that they should be where they are now because the Lord put in his mind that it would be a building by the brook. Building by the brook. And when they drove out there and he looked and saw a brook right behind it, he just knew at that point that was for them. But that was just a step. That was just a step. They could use a 1,000-seat church right now. They could. And you always want to have more seats than you need. Um, you can always you can black them out with a curtain so it doesn't look empty. That's what Jimmy Swaggart had to do after Deborah Murphy and that story broke. I mean, he went from what? Oh boy, in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm not somebody who's from there was saying, you've all heard of the song Way Down Yonder in New Orleans. Is that Arlo Guthrie? Way down yonder in New Orleans. That's what we say. And then I say New Orleans, but there's another way that's even more pronounced that than that, which I can't think of how to pronounce that right now. If you're a native, but Louisiana for sure. And let's see here. So, the word I got is that they're not considering Hot Springs for a weekly church service. They're not. But, they're going to be at the August 17th. They're going to be at the Bank OZK Arena. Now, they have basketball there sometimes. I guess there's a Tennessee team that plays there. Would that be college basketball? I don't know. I know there's the Tennessee Titans, but that's football, right? I don't know my Tennessee sports, I'm afraid, but there is a Tennessee Titans. That much I know, Jody. Anyway, so when they play, there's more seats. They create more seats. But when it's not a sporting event like that, there's less seating. So I think there's somewhere between 3 and 4,000 seats, 3 and 4,000 seats that will be available on Sunday at 10 a.m. Central Time when Pastor Bob Joyce brings the Household of Faith service to the Bank OZK Arena. Okay. Now, keep in mind, there is a big George Magazine live event that begins on Friday for VIPs. Saturday is regular admission mixed in with the VIPs. The VIPs and the Saturday ticket holders all get to go in first. They get to go in first. Sunday, there's definitely some buses that are coming, okay? So don't say, oh, I'll show up at 9:45 and they're telling me I can't get in. Show up earlier. It's just like with the church. You have to show up early. Because on any given Sunday, about 25% of the church are regular people that go every week from Benton, and the other 75% are visitors, So as we get into the warmer weather, especially, um, we're talking about you being out there at about 7:30 in the morning if you don't want to end up in that overflow room between 7:30 and 8:30. But why would you take a risk where 8:30 could bring you into the overflow room? And guess what? You can only have so many people in there. So it's a problem. The new church will double the seating in the sanctuary. But really, there's often close to 150 people in the fellowship hall watching on the big screen. They still get to meet Pastor Bob, but they don't get in. And that's a real drag. So they're very serious about creating the big sanctuary, as I'm told. And I have no idea when they would start that. I assume it would be with a full time professional crew. Um, Otherwise, it'll be in the year 2525 if man is still alive. There's Todd saying good evening to me. Hi, Jack and all. Hello, Big Todd. What's been going on with you? We heard, about that devastating effects of parts of Tennessee. I was watching at the time to see if I heard the name of your town, which has the word sale in it, as I recall. Help me. I have short-term memory loss. Um, Paul Comfort is here. Hey, Paul. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's going on with you? Always like an update from you if you have one, but I never get one. He's very secretive. Cindy G in Tennessee is talking to Ted. There's always two just like Trump. Always two just like Trump. I don't even want to think what that could mean. Um, Elsa Carbone is here. In real life, it is sometimes shocking. They age just like we do and don't look quite as perfect. Well, obviously, I came into the middle of that conversation. Uh, Maybe we're talking about what do you call them? There's the shadow people. There's the skins, right? The skins. Then there's the white aliens. There's the gray aliens. I'm having trouble keeping up here with all these alien life forms on our planet. Jack, I know you mentioned that sometimes Pastor Bob looks younger than at other times. Do you think it could possibly be the lighting? Yeah, someone mentioned that. I don't know if that was you that mentioned that in a pre-recorded video. I know some TV hosts look great under the lights, but in person, you see the age. Well, you know, um, let's go. When I go to the other screen, I can't see what you're writing now, so hold your comments if they're for me, okay? I hate to miss something, but it can happen pretty easily. I got so many choices here. Okay. So we have this video, wild new Bob Joyce video, which is over 3,000 hits right now. And there's our live. There's our live. It says 55 watching here. Um, let's see. When I hold up pictures uh, when we're live from my phone, it can be disastrous. Whereas it all seems to work with the exact same lighting when I do it in a pre-recorded video. If that doesn't confuse me, like I'm not confused enough already. I got to see also. All right, let's go back to where I can see what I'm doing. Um, I mean, I understand that someone will look younger with good lighting and not so much, when the lighting is bad. See, when I do this live, I'm never sure if I'm going to get it, and this is going to be one of these times. That's why I usually do it in a pre-recorded video. It's washing his face out. I hate this. I hate it. People say hold it straight, and that doesn't do it either. Yeah. I mean, you can see the top of his head, but I wanted you to see. I wanted you to see it better. I think I'm going to have a policy where I don't hold up photos in anything but a pre-recorded video. But yet, other photos will be fine. You know. Okay. So you see. You see the thumbnail for our newest video, which is wild new Bob Joyce video. Um, there's more going on than a lighting issue there, and we talk about it. Um, we talk about it. The man just looks like a different person. However, not that different from who we see in the pulpit. Well, depends on which shot you're looking at. But we show two videos in our latest video, wild new Bob Joyce video. Please watch that video, subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. Hopefully the thanks button too, as Teresa Panel did. Hi, Teresa. Thank you for hitting the thanks button in that video. So we show early Bob Joyce from, I think, 2011. 2011, his first church. Chubbier, obviously younger. And he's playing the piano and he's singing Come On to Me, right? Come On to Me. And I said, I don't usually get this direct, but I said my personal opinion before we played the whole song of him singing that live performance, so we should be okay, was that is Elvis Presley. That is Elvis Presley. The man that we're looking at in this 29-second video that was shot on Saturday from Pastor Bob Joyce's house looks a lot less like Elvis to me. But with plastic surgery, we're not talking just Botox anymore. The pastor can use that to look younger. Every 3 months, you can get a Botox injection, about that. But the face that I use in the thumbnail looks like it's either not the same man at all, or he had some heavy plastic surgery and would have to be wearing brown contacts because the eyes are brown. It's pretty bright in that what looks to be his dining room, and the eyes are brown. Elvis's eyes are blue. People have been to Household of Faith, and they told me they saw Pastor Bob with blue eyes. So doesn't this get crazy? So let's just look, and I'm not looking at the screen of the comments right now. Oh, it's me. Yeah. Wild. Yeah. All right. Shut up, Jack. Let's see here. Look at the comment section. Thank you again, Teresa, for that contribution on the thanks button. I don't get that a lot in the pre-recorded videos. Jill Brown, you're new. Welcome, Jill Brown. Well, let's see if we're happy you're here. I have long believed Bob Joyce is Elvis. I am so glad he is alive and, more importantly, committed to serving God. That is the most important thing, whether he is or he isn't. Cindy G in Tennessee. There you are. I see you now, Cindy. When I saw Matt and Bob sing the trilogy, I couldn't pronounce that word in the video. I got goosebumps and tears. Tears rolled down my face. I said, that's him, just know it. Yeah, a lot of people, that was an aha moment. I believe that if Elvis faked his death in 1977, that is absolutely him in Denton's nightclub in Benton, Arkansas. Denton's is no longer with us, so to speak. Katina Swatsworth, the older clip is him. She's a lot of people aren't sure about the clip in the house. Army Mom's Heal Hero, I think. Heal as in a healing. Army Mom Heal here. I'm speechless. This is Elvis. I knew immediately when he was speaking in the second clip. Yeah, some people are not specific whether they're saying both clips. So thank you for being clear. That tone is unmatched. The voice, the speaking voice, talking about picking up the guitar late at night. My goodness, I've heard that before. Now I know you can imitate that. I realize, but to me, it had a real ring of authenticity. Um, Jembry said, "Yes, sir, I agree. Pastor Bob is Elvis." Doesn't say, he doesn't weigh in on what I was hoping people would weigh in. Uh, Kathleen, uh, I mean, Caitlin Stuber, great podcast, Jack. Thank you. Gloria Harlow Drummond says that is Elvis. Gave me goosebumps. Jesus bumps. Again, they don't specify if they believe both people I show are Elvis. A. Larson. That's so Elvis. I know his voice singing and speaking. I think they're all talking about the second video. American Trilogy with Matt was my aha moment, says Trin Madrid. Trin Madrid. I respect Elvis and his family. God bless them always. Lynn Day, yes. Okay. P. Lem says, Elvis, if you're seeing this, please know that even though you tried to disappear, the entire world has never forgotten you, and the new generation is now learning to love you as well. Gone but not forgotten. You will live forever with the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. That's Jesus. Absolutely Elvis, Jack. Again, do you mean both people? Bayou Girl. Hello, BG. Hello, Jack and all. Number one, that was not Bob, meaning not Elvis. Number two, that was Bob. Yes, Elvis, TCB. Let me go down. I can't read every single comment. Ray, you are new, I believe. Still cannot draw the conclusion he is until the day there might be proof. I tell you that Come On To Me video has a lot of scores. I saw it a long time ago and immediately drew my attention. It drew my attention and watched it tens of times. The singing, the voice, the facial expressions and movements of the head, like the upward looks, the way he plays the keyboard. Well, he doesn't look up a lot because he's really focused on playing those keys. The in the speaking, and above all the humor, over and over. We did hear from Aiden Pritchard. We heard from Aiden, the son of Gregory Pritchard. This video is based on the video that his dad, Gregory, shot. The person that got this video, I know. If you have any questions, we are more than happy to answer them. I am wanting to talk with you guys. I am wanting to contact you. Now, tomorrow I leave for Shippensburg, Pennsylvania. Karen and I are going on a one-day trip. And tomorrow night, we will, if all goes well and the Lord is with us and the Lord is with Johnny Mathis, we will see the first of his last 4 concerts in Shippensburg, PA, and come back on Friday. He had a more extensive tour, but he's starting to have memory issues and he's realizing he only has so long to live. And he loves golf and he loves this and that. And he wants to be able to do that. So, his last concert, which is now completely sold out, May 18th at the New Jersey Performing Arts Center, if he makes it that long. And I think he probably will. He looked pretty good in January. So we're going there. So I would probably, talk with you on Friday. I would try to talk with you on Friday. Sammy hit the thanks button for $2.79 in this pre-recorded video. Thank you, Sammy. Thanks, Bob. And Elvis. Marlene. Ah, yes, Marlene. Are you here tonight? The second one is really Elvis, and Elvis has those dimples in his cheek. And on this video, you can actually see on the second one, I kind of like I'm sinking when he smiles. Okay. Jackie Organ. Hi, Jack. Such an interesting interview and comparison. Thanks for sharing. And it goes on and on and on. Warren Wilson. He suggested 2 other songs. I only do a certain amount of roll-in video, and I think it's really important, But and you'd have to mention those songs again because it's hard to find comments when there's so many, but I don't want to. I don't want to guarantee you of anything because, even if I find and I know that when he sings the old rugged cross and how great thou art, the early version when he was in his first church, yeah, it sounds like Elvis Presley. Looks and sounds like Elvis. I get it. James Williams, I've been convinced for a while that he's EP. If you listen to him and Matt doing the trilogy, say everybody mentions that, you should know that Bob has sung professionally at some time in his life, even though he's nervous and really doesn't want to be singing that song. So, Aiden, if you're watching me, and there's so many comments, I thank you for them. I really, really appreciate it. We'd definitely be interested in talking to you and your father on the phone. We could at least start off, perhaps if it feels right, by maybe on Saturday nights, Worldwide Ramblings, taking a live phone call from you. I'd love to be able to do the Zoom, but that won't be ready by then. And would love to do that. Love to hear what your perspective is. They don't seem mad. I mean, they put it up publicly, so they don't seem mad at me for putting it up. I'm not the first one, obviously, but when you put something like that up, it deserves some explanation, some point of view, and that opens up the door to your point of views. Just putting it up as a 29-second short to me is, but it'll work in terms of views. I don't really know how shorts work, except that you have to have a whole lot of views for it to work out in terms of monetization. Because where do they put the commercials? In a short. So down I go, down the list here, Jack. I don't think it's the lighting, right? I think there's more than one man. Well, I've been saying that since 2018. I believe in the 2 Bob Joyce theory. Robert Wayne Joyce, who married Willena Hattie in 1975 in the state of Texas. We've shown those pictures. They're in the verdict. They're in the top 50 reasons why Bob Joyce may be Elvis, which is 3 parts of that up. And other videos, other live shows. I've shown the young pictures of Robert Wayne Joyce. I don't believe he is the current pastor of Household of Faith. But then we introduced this gentleman in the house who does seem uh, it's almost like he's a chameleon and can change the way he looks. I mean, if you see him at the Horner Hall Theater, for example, and plenty of times at the current church, you know, he's looking very much like Elvis Presley. But this gentleman really didn't. And I'll do a pre recorded video on this and show you those close up photos and what have you. So it is one heck of a mystery. I guess it feeds the story the way they would like if we are, still trying to figure it out so many years later. Georgia Peach is here. Where are you, Georgia Peach? She's saying hello to Tammy J or Tammy Tessie. It's Tess. It's Tess, Georgia Peach. Hearts Wild, I agree, Sandra. I always pick up when family slips say he's alive. Jack, I said hi earlier to you. Yeah, it's easy for me to miss, especially if I'm on another screen. When I'm on another screen, as I say, I don't see the comment. So I try to backtrack, but I can miss stuff, especially because we got 117 people watching right now. Amen, amen, amen. 117 people. Not bad. I like that. Thank you so much for joining us live here on Worldwide Ramblings. But hello, replay crowd. Hello, replay crowd. I'm glad you're here on a Wednesday night. I'm looking for another name. I was going to show something that was given to me, and I will because they'll see it in the replay. But I was waiting to see if they were going to be on live. If you did slip in and I missed it, say something else. Make another comment. You can talk about the rain in Spain lies mainly on the plane. I think she's got it. So hello, Tanya, not Tanya, but Tanya. Yes, Tanya Crawley. I think I saw a comment from you elsewhere, didn't I? Pastor Bob could be wearing a little makeup. Well, I am, because when I show you these pictures of me in the living room, I look redder than an apple. That's it, an apple. Pastor Bob could be wearing a little makeup. There's no doubt that there's something going on there, Botox and what have you, when he's on camera each week, too, to make him look not so old. Yeah, I agree with that. And I would say that's definitely happening. And they have good lighting, too. But here we go with this thing again. Crashing but able to restore immediately. That's the new thing that we're experiencing here. And I still see 119 on the screen. So if you all hung in, thank you very much. Thank you very much. If that's real. We still have the chat going, don't we? Rita, lovely Rita. Yes, Rita hijacking everyone. I'm glad at least it restores right away, because it can really kill your momentum. But instead, we're up to 129 and 62 likes. Yes, please hit that like button if you like anything at all that we've done, and the notification bell. That would be swell. Brenda talking to Teresa Panel. Thank you, Teresa, for being here as well. MJ, when Bob passes away. What are we talking about? I will not be doing MJ. I don't think I did do one. I did do one here. I don't have the audience for it. Now, that's an interesting thing, MJ Las Vegas. And I see you have a picture of yourself there. Looks like me from here. That'd be funny. MJ Las Vegas. When does the Bob Joyce book came out? You reminded me of something. Everyone says that Pastor Bob Joyce is writing a book, or by now it would be he has written a book. Well, there'd still be updates, so he could, technically he wouldn't be finished with the book because the story is still happening. But it won't be released until his death, which to me is a ripoff. I just say how I feel, I mean, it's to me, well, I understand why, though. I understand why. He loves the life he's living right now. He will never come out himself. He will never come out himself if we should be right. I speak of possibilities. I could be wrong about the whole thing. And I believe the Holy Spirit is in the mix here, so I don't want to go against the Holy Spirit. I'm confident that the Holy Spirit will let me know if I'm not to say something. But it seems to work pretty good when half the people think you're bat crap crazy, including my son, and others, it's like Buc-ee's. Have you been to Buc-ee's in Tennessee or Alabama or other places? Texas, obviously, duh, Texas. When you know, you know. If you're driving down the highway and you see a sign for Buc-ee's, if you know, you're going to stop. You're going to stop. There's no way you're going to buy that Buc-ee's. No, that's like a city, a bright city with the cleanest restrooms and uh, uh, um, a great barbecue pork sandwich and bakery, and if it's the morning, wonderful breakfast sandwiches. I'm like a commercial for Buc-ee's. They should pay to be on here. They should. Um, yes, MJ. Um, Someone is referring me to a book when I'm not giving the year. We could do it by doing simple math, which would mean around 2020, when he was 85 years old, under a pseudonym. Somebody have the name of this book that's here with me right now, because I got to go looking for it. I think it's in my email. Someone on a pseudonym with a pseudonym wrote the story out. You don't see the name Elvis on the cover or anything like that, but a pseudonym told the story there. And of course, that could easily be faked. This whole thing can be faked, But when I look at that video of Bob in 2011, 2012, John Cook was putting up the videos then. By the way, the moment Pastor Bob Joyce appeared magically, we think, in 2010, 2011 on YouTube, he became a public person. He made a choice to become a public person, knowing full well that there would be a reaction. But he felt the leading of the Lord to have this ministry that went far beyond a small little building. He would never be content with that. He wanted people to hear the message. As he said to Spa Guy, if it was really the Pastor Bob that we see every Sunday, he said, "The Lord gave me dreams to reach the world. The Lord gave me dreams to reach the world. Your young men see visions, and your old men dream dreams." That's in the scripture. That's when Spa Guy came a knocking. And I won't go into that whole story now. We've talked about it before. Hearts Wild says Pastor Bob during some service mentions Elvis, references to him. Yes, he's telling a story, and he's like he's talking to himself, and instead of saying, "Well, you should know that, Bob Joyce," he says, "You should know that, Elvis." Something like that, And he didn't say that. The crowd, the protectors rush in to try to tell us, don't don't believe what you just heard with the ears God gave you. Whatever. Hi, Jack and everybody, says Rita. Yes, I'm glad you're here, Rita. We have 116 watching right now. We go down to the bottom. I never did hear how you're doing, Deborah. If you said it, I'm sorry I didn't see it. Um, Sandra, Jack, I'm sure you will meet either Elvis or just his brother in heaven, so you will know the truth. Don't worry, Sandra. All right. Um, maybe I'll head that way, and maybe I won't. It's complex. And Susan, I don't know if you're here yet. She understands it is because Karen could definitely need more surgery this year. You know, when you have neck and bulging disc problems, and she had one surgery already on her neck and what have you, and she's got lower back pain, other issues. You may well need another surgery, and she's having an MRI on Saturday. So we'll see what happens. If it's the Lord's will that I go, I will. I thank Susan for the kind offer to help me with the expenses, but I just don't know yet. I just don't know. So I don't want to agonize over it. We'll see. I'd really like it if Karen were with me, and she's not going to go in a car. I mean, we're going 200 miles in a car tomorrow, and she's not thrilled about that. And I'm wishing I kind of didn't do an impulse thing, which all went on a credit card, which I don't like ever to do. But he's got 4 shows left. I've never seen Johnny Mathis. This is a life experience, and I still should have ran it by Karen first. I should have ran it by Karen first. That was my mistake. Not that she wouldn't like to see Johnny, but she's not thrilled with long car rides. She's hoping that she'll get some more relief than she's getting now. You can only take so much gabapentin, for example. So, the church service on Sunday was canceled due to the power being out. There were flooding. People couldn't get out of their homes. Again, only 25% of the people that go on any given Sunday are the regular Benton people. 75% are visitors, which means that they were probably in the hotels and the motels in downtown Benton, and were very, very disappointed that they weren't going to Household of Faith to see Pastor Bob Joyce. And, he regretted that, but what can you do? The power's out, and you don't want to bring your regulars out in bad weather and what have you, and something terrible happens. So that's how that goes. Ted Richards saying, good night, Brenda. Don't forget to turn that kill switch off for the horn. Yeah. You don't want them coming out in the middle of the night. Oh, it's Dream Time with Jody. Dream Time with Jody, brought to you by Lumi, the all over your body deodorant, or Mando if you're a man. Mando. It's gosh darn good stuff it is. Put it everywhere. You'll smell like grandma's cedar chest. Sandra Fair, I wonder if the church was flooded by the creek. He didn't say that. I'm sure he had people that went over there. Faith Lloyd is here saying good night to Brenda. Hi, Faith Lloyd. Well, it's a little expensive. It's now available in our shop right here, but it seems like it's a smaller tube. And they also have a shower gel as well. But this is the kind of stuff when you're going to someplace important, you put that on there. I still put regular deodorant under my... Oh, I don't think I meant to show this. I've dropped it twice. I was using the Arid gel, but it's kind of disappeared. And if you can find it online, it's like 3 times the price it used to be. So what can I say, Arid? You were my choice, but not at 3 times the price, It's like that Cozy Shack rice pudding. It's not homemade, but it's pretty good. Well, it used to be $3.99, and it would often go on sale two for $4. A tub of that, you know. Then all of a sudden you want $5.99, and you're not having sales. Well, they had to have one because the rice pudding is just sitting there. You know, you can't up the price by that much. You have to go gradually. Gradually. Oh, well, we can charge much more because everybody's charging more for their stuff now, you know, and that's true. That's true. Food prices are beyond crazy, says Ted Richards, and getting worse. Well, eggs are coming down, and there's, there is this rough spot that we have to get through. But the stock market started to rise today when Trump said he would put a 90-day pause on some of the tariffs, but not with China. Now, if there's any updates on that, I didn't see it because I watched a little bit of Dark Shadows with Karen, one of the classic episodes when Julia Hoffman reveals to Barnabas Collins, who's come into the room to kill her, she's got a dummy laying in the bed, you know, pillows that make it look like there's a body there. And she's sitting in a chair waiting for him because she's figured out he's a vampire because she just saw him in his coffin, you know. But she feels she can through blood transfusions, she can cure him. So that's a classic episode that we saw. And we're going to Lyndhurst on July 19th. Very affordable, and it's only an hour drive in Tarrytown, New York. And it's getting really good because they keep adding people that I never thought I'd meet. It's Catherine Lee Scott, and it's Marie Wallace. It's Sharon Lenz, who played Little Sarah. And hopefully, for the first time, I think, ever at a Dark Shadows event, it's David Hennessy, who played David Collins, Jameson Collins, Tad. And they've just added a Broadway icon. In fact, right now, I think she's doing a play in Los Angeles, but she just did Wicked on Broadway, not the movie, on Broadway. She was part of Wicked, and she's in her 80s now, and she still looks great. Donna, probably going to say this wrong, McKenzie. She was on Dark Shadows in 1969 with David Selby as the love interest, and very, very good. She was only on there for a few months, but she made quite an impact. So that's going to be one heck of a shindig when we see that on the afternoon of July 19th, a Saturday. Huh. And you just have to go to Lyndhurst Mansion and see if there's any more tickets because it's a Saturday and Sunday event. It's morning, afternoon, and then a cocktail party in the evening. We're not going to that. We're just going to the Saturday afternoon event. So there you go. Ted Richards lives in a state of confusion. That's what I'm told. Anyway, I'm not completely sure on that. Let me go to my email here. And let's see here. Hello, Tony Anderson from Glasgow, Scotland. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you here. I think this is okay. It's a share doesn't seem sensitive, Tony. Tony from Glasgow, Scotland, just wanted to comment on the video you recently showed to me. That was Robert Wayne Joyce, not Pastor Bob. In my opinion, he means, I believe he means on the first video at Pastor Bob's house. What are your thoughts? My thoughts are this story gets more bizarre. How bizarre? How bizarre? So I'm still kind of processing it to be to be honest with you. We heard from Susan Carter commenting on Karen's MRI and what have you, wishing her good thoughts. We heard from the Grand Patriarch, Richard Lyon. We heard from Chantel. She often comments in the in the she's French, and she often comments, and then I'm able to translate it into English. She lives in well, the second part of it is Saint Jean, province of Quebec or Quebec in Canada. Yeah, French Canadian. Okay. And so glad that she's here. It's northeast of Montreal. It'd be about a 27-hour drive to get to Pastor Bob's church. People have done that too from Canada. Sometimes many countries are represented. Of course, they usually fly. So I think she did go, and I'll have to ask permission to see if we can show her photo in the future. But hi, Chantel, thank you for checking in. And okay, so I heard from Doc. All right, I'm not going to read what he said, other than he gave me permission to show you the birthday gift he sent me. It just arrived today. My birthday was March 21st. He said, I'm going to send you a belated gift. And he did. And he's one of our new people. But it is a beautiful keyboard. It's a beautiful keyboard that you use. There's no wires attached. This would work also with an iPad if you have internet signal, Bluetooth is the word I'm trying to find here. This would be used with Bluetooth, and beautiful big numbers and letters, etc. And thank you so much, Doc. It's very, very beautiful. We will find a way to make it work. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And that's from Doc, who at some point we may do an interview with. He is a very interesting fellow. So I've got to find a way to get this going. Tammy Tess says, happy birthday, Ted Richards. Really? Happy birthday, Ted Richards. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Ted Richards. Happy birthday to you. Yeah. We have 96 watching now, 70 likes. And let me go back to that list of videos. So the wild new Bob Joyce video, doing very well over 3,000 now. Please watch it, subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. We do want to make it to 10,000 subscribers. Anybody know what our current number is? Oh, I see it right here. Oh, we're getting close, gang. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe 40 more, something like that. 40 more. I hope that doesn't take until June or more. You never know. Because many of the people that watch one of our new videos, well, it really should bring in the subscribers there, because yes, we have our core audience that are here with us on Worldwide Ramblings, but we also have a healthy smattering, is that the word, of new people. What else? We have a video for you. Famous people at Household of Faith. Hurricane stories from you. I guess that is our last live show from Sunday night. You can find that in the live section of this channel. the virtual Church of the Disillusioned. Over 2,100 views, so that's pretty good. Famous people at Household of Faith. Hurricane stories from you. I think it's time for a cough drop, especially since I didn't bring any water. But once again, thank you, Doc. Thank you, Doc, for that beautiful um, Bluetooth keyboard. And let's see, the nonsense Elvis decided on the occult. There's a book talking about the mystical, magical life, occult life of Elvis Presley out. So I'm commenting. I haven't read the book. I hold the book up, the cover of the book up. But I guess you would have to come to the conclusion that Elvis died in 1977, which is not a conclusion that I come to. Because if not, and Elvis was still with us and preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ, obviously he didn't. But he dabbled. He dabbled. Larry Geller encouraged him to dabble. So those that believe that Elvis died in 77 might believe that. I'm saying it took Elvis a while to come to a saving knowledge of Jesus Christ, but he always was marked for Christ. God knows what's going to happen in the future. Marked for Christ, and had a real affinity for the gospel and black gospel music from 1950s up. And his own music, of course, was influenced by what he heard and was mesmerized by in the black church. And he heard those Pentecostal pastors, black Pentecostal pastors. So there you go. We have a video that was #1 in my analytics. Shocking new Elvis info seems to be, let me click on this, seems to be a Bob Joyce link. That's got over 2,600 views. And so now our newest video is going to overtake that. And that'll fall into maybe the #2 position. But popular video, shocking new Elvis info seems to be a Bob Joyce link. We tell a different story. Yes, Elvis faked his death, but with this new source, the source indicates that it wasn't the witness protection program. It wasn't the government that orchestrated the new life of Elvis Presley, which led him to leave the country for an extended time because he was very sick and near death. And it wasn't Argentina, but it was France. It was France. That's the possibility that we talk about in that video. So watch it if you haven't already, please, as many have. Shocking new Elvis info. It's a pre-recorded video. Seems to be a Bob Joyce link, a B Joyce link, it says there. 158 people commented on that. So thank you for watching those videos. You can see the whole list of our videos here at the virtual Church of the Disillusioned. The official Myers Productions. This is Aiden or Gregory. Jack, hello. You are Aiden. Well, here's Aiden. Hi, Aiden Pritchard. Welcome. I was glad to see your comment earlier and would love to talk to you. As I mentioned just a few minutes ago, we're headed into Pennsylvania. You probably don't know who Johnny Mathis is, but your dad would know him. And he's 89 years old now and is doing the first of his last 4 concerts tomorrow up in Shippensburg, PA. And my partner Karen and I are going to see him and stay overnight and be back on Friday. So I'll be busy tomorrow. But sure, I would love to talk to you and your dad and your mom, Alice, too. That would be fine. What do you have to say right now? What's your take on things? Robin Roman. Elvis disappeared in 77, not died. However, seven is God's perfect number. I've never really thought of that, Robin Roman, that fact. Two sevens. Seven is known as God's perfect number of completion. Even really, he did it in 6 days. He created the world in 6 days, and on the seventh day, he looked it over in satisfaction. He rested on the seventh day. So, but seven is always what people point to as God's perfect number of completion. How old are you, Aiden? How old are you? And I suppose one question we would have is, why didn't you go with your father when he made the trip? Were you just kind of nervous about the whole thing? I could see that happening. I didn't go because I was so upset about the service being canceled. I was completely unaware that my father had, oh, oh boy, I was completely unaware that my father had left to Bob Joyce's house. Oh, I can imagine the agony, Aiden. He just came back with a video. Wow. And that is your dad was seeing at the very end, right? I got that part right, right? I'm 16 years old. Cool. And you love Elvis. That that is great. So yeah, um, those things. It's like my son tells me about the time we could have seen David Wells pitch a perfect game at Yankee Stadium. It was a Saturday afternoon. We could have seen David Wells pitch. I keep saying pitch a perfect game at Yankee Stadium. But no, I wanted to drag the family to Nyack, New York Street Fair because I thought Rosie O'Donnell, who I was a fan of at the time, this goes back to the 90s, was going to be there walking the street fair, which she was, by the way. And because of that uh, fetish I was having at that point, I dragged the family there to see Rosie at the street fair. So he frequently reminds me of that, and I have a feeling you'll be reminding Dad of that moment. Yes, that is my dad at the end of the video. I plan on coming back in a month. Yeah, I know what you feel like you have to. I would wait to the new church, and I'm not sure if that is June, July. There'll be 300 seats, and I'm also not sure what happens with the overflow crowd. They're going to have something, whether it be a tent. They wouldn't need to heat it. They need to cool it in the month of May in Arkansas. Starts to get really hot. So I don't know. There are prefab buildings that that you can easily put right next to what will be the sanctuary. But they're very much aware, Aiden, that they're not solving the problem with 300 seats because it is a growing phenomenon and people are coming from all over. I feel your pain of what it must have been like to come from Georgia and then not get to go to the church service. So, yeah, that's what I wondered. Why didn't Aiden go with him? Um, so I'm sure you were bummed about that. Plan on coming back in a month or two to see him in service. I'm sure there will be another video of sort. Yeah. Um, it is a no to mention the E word in that sanctuary. That's just something you don't do. They don't really, is the down south word cotton. They don't cotton to people trying to sneak it in and think they're clever. You're just going there to praise Jesus Christ, and you just leave it unsaid. That would be my advice to you. Um, People that have violated that um, have um, have been told to leave. There's there's people there that look after Pastor Bob Joyce, as you can imagine. Karen Phillips says, hello, Jack and all. I was planning on coming at 6 a.m. for the doors to open at 10 a.m. Yeah, I'm hearing 7:30 would be a good time. Um, It's like you're going to like almost like a Trump rally. You got to get there really, really early. All the people, they thought Kamala Harris was going to win, and you had people spending 20 hours online to get into a Donald Trump rally. I just love watching on YouTube. Um, there's videos that Clinton Jaws put together, compilation of various networks as they start off so cheerful that Kamala Harris is going to be Madam President before the night's over, and then just to see the despair setting in, and them still trying to, oh well, it's far from over, it's far from over, and there's a number of key battleground states, and then by midnight, it's just so obvious that the blue wall has not held. It's red, red, red all over the map, including the 6 swing states. It's just a wonderful thing to see. A lot of these news journalists, before President Trump came along and exposed them for who they really are, I used to love these journalists, including that Phillips woman who has the show in the evening, and Anderson Cooper. You know, this is the pre-Trump time. Tapper, even, people like that. I would watch a lot more CNN than I watch now. If I watch CNN now, within 10 minutes, I'm turning it off in disgust. I still like John Berman, but obviously he is slanting things just like everybody else. Yes, go early, says Katina Swatsworth. Team SWAT is here. Go early. A person I know online said he went at 6 and they were lining up. It's becoming like a Trump rally. So we'll see what happens with what they're going to do with overflow people at the other site, which is outside of Benton, but still in the same county. But they don't have to deal with the Benton rules anymore. There's Benton city rules that Pastor Bob apparently is not too fond of. So they'll have more freedom to do what they want to do out there. And but the word is they're going to start building the much bigger sanctuary. I believe this summer. My parents watch CNN. If I go to their house, it's the channel they have on. They hate Trump. Mom, I guess she starts with me sometimes about Trump. Yeah, when you have Trump derangement syndrome, that doesn't make you a bad person. It just means you have an authentic disease that you're going to hate all things Trump, and you're not going to be open to hearing anything else. So it is just better to leave it alone. You will never convince someone who has decided that they will go to their grave hating Trump to change their mind. As Trump says, he could come up with a cure for cancer and they would still hate him. When you saw the sorry lot when he addressed a joint session of Congress, when you saw them sitting there, including the minority speaker Hakeem Jeffries, who doesn't want to speak. He always tries to avoid the press. He has no gift for it. As I say, he has the depth of a kiddie pool. When he finally does talk to the press, you can see it's the same thing that Kamala Harris did. He is trying to sound like he's an intellectual, a thoughtful person on the spot, but it always comes out, no, they're bad. They're bad. And the American people don't want that. He tries to pretend that he's on the side of the American people when they all look like a bunch of horses' asses. A bunch of horses' asses. Sorry, Katina. So I don't see any one of those. And Jasmine Crockett at the top of the list. Houston, Texas. Come on now. Watch, we're going to crash here. We're going to crash. I don't see any. Not one of them is worthy for re-election. Not one of them. The older women look like they're. I don't know how to describe it. The men. Oh my God! When you get to Jerry Nadler, smelly Jerry Nadler, he is often described, I'm told. Katina, it's a quick appearance from Team SWAT. I have to say goodnight. Sweet dreams are made of this. I can't remember any more lyrics from that song. Sweet dreams and prayers to everyone. I'll watch the replay, and she really will. Thank you, Team SWAT. I appreciate that so much. Please subscribe. We have 102 people watching right now. Have you all subscribed? I hope so. We want to get to it's just a few dozen away from 10,000. So hit the subscribe button. If you are so inclined, the like button, 79 likes. Hit the notification bell so when we pop on to pop off randomly or put up a pre-recorded video, you'll know. We'll be back live Saturday night at 10 p.m. East Coast time for Worldwide Ramblings, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise in Tennessee, Kentucky, and what's the other one? Tennessee, Kentucky, and obviously Arkansas. The creek did rise, and there were tornadoes, and there were towns that were pretty much wiped out. Tornadoes are random, and they tend to not hit Las Vegas, Sin City. They tend to hit the Bible Belt. There are things in this world I will never understand, but I don't lose my faith in Jesus over it. Aiden says, did you see my message? Well, I saw the first one. You can always email me at Jack the Fair Guy, Fair, because I did answer you on your first message. But I did it on my phone, and it didn't come up the Virtual Church of the Disillusioned. But Jack the Fair Guy, like you're going to the carnival, Fair, Jack the Fair Guy at gmail.com. Joanne Parker, hi. I see you didn't catch my chat. So what I want to know, yeah, I can miss it because there's quite a bit here. And if you're talking about it in a past video, hopefully you did it in a recent video. What's said in the older videos, I would spend hours and hours doing that. Usually I don't find any new comments in an older video, but sometimes, I'm obviously going to miss something unless it comes up in my alert feed. That's a whole other thing, and I'm always hoping it will. So what I want to know is if the new church is closer to Benton, where there are hotels or motels. I think the answer is no. I think the answer is further away. I didn't get the impression that it is. I think it's the other way, 10 minutes from the church, 10, 15 minutes from the church the other way, not in Benton, but in the same county. Okay. So you need a car. I heard tornadoes are called Satan's finger. Well, that's a first for me, Fancy Nancy. I'll have to think about that. Richard's still here? Are you still here, Richard? I think, you got to work, right? In the morning, and you're on the same time as I am down there in West Palm Beach, Florida. Thank you, Gail George, for stopping by. I really appreciate that. So, yes, hit the subscribe, the like button, the notification bell. There's a thanks button there. A better way to give so we can keep this channel going here. We have a pretty meager budget. Is Cash App, lowercase letters, Media Guy 56. MEDIAGUY 56. Media Guy 56. That's another way to do it. Can you repeat your email one more time? I certainly can. Let's see here. Da, 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 da. There you go, jackthefairguy@gmail.com. And remember, I'll be on the road tomorrow. On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. Karen is not eager to get on the road again. She doesn't have that same feeling I have in truck stops and stuff like that. Just love it. Love seeing people, and what are you going to find there at the truck stop, at the rest stop that has stores and what have you. I like it. Thank you, Nancy. You're a lifesaver, says Joanne Parker. Were you watching from Joanne Parker? You might have said already, and I could have missed it. Thank you, Aiden, for subscribing to the channel. I have to go now, but I will email you. Thank you, and we'll get back to you on Friday. So, Richard, where are you? Someone's saying something to you. Yeah, the church is not the place to start talking Elvis. It really isn't. I used to like Anderson Cooper. Me too, Hearts Wild. But Trump has a way of revealing who people are. Trump is a flawed man as well. But and they loved him in 2015. He was great for ratings because they didn't think he had a chance. They didn't realize they were helping him win the election. And then what's he do? He starts calling them fake news, and so then they developed a grudge, and they were willing to sacrifice core journalistic principles to go after Trump. And then the Democratic Party did the same thing. They created lawfare to make sure he never became president again. And of course, he is our 47th president of the United States. Kamala Harris was simply one of the worst possible choices to be the next president. But Joseph R. Biden was worse than her. He knew more, certainly, than Kamala Harris knew. But when you add it all up, there are things that have, and this has been expressed by Miranda Devine and the Congress people, Comer, and the others, so many that were on the investigation panel. I am so glad Joe Biden is gone from the public scene. So glad. And it gets hear more information. It seemingly gets worse all the time. So thank you for those hitting the thanks button or the Cash App, which is lowercase letters Media Guy 56. It really helps me out. We have a meager budget here, and we need to keep a certain amount every month. Sometimes the views are higher than others, but I'm not the kind of guy who gets 250,000 views or 1,000,000 views. Those people don't really need a thanks button, They're doing okay without it. But I am not that person. We're telling a chronological story. We're hosting long live shows. How many people host up to 2-hour live shows a couple of times a week? Not many. And they couldn't because they couldn't keep it going, But we have a wonderful family here, and I'm so glad that you are here. I don't know, Sandra, where Sleepy Joe is. I know that he went to a talent agency in, I don't know if it was William Morris or which one it was, and he became a client. They accepted him as a client. He's in serious cognitive decline, for goodness sakes. But, when there's an ex-president that wants to be on your client list, I guess, nobody wants to hear him speak. Nobody. It's like nobody wants to hear Kamala Harris speak. Oh, she gets a few low pay or, gigs that there's a very small audience that she has, but most of the progressives are super mad at her. George Soros $1.5 billion spent to lose every single swing state, to lose the popular vote along with the Electoral College, which was a good thing for America. Good thing for America. Stocks are starting to come back up. I don't know how they are right now. I have very small amount, very small amount. I got some penny stocks is what I got. You know, that's all I can afford. Um, so is Gail still here? She's still here. Hello, Gail. You couldn't leave us. I knew it. I knew it. Jack, we are thrilled for you and Karen to see Johnny Mathis. Yeah, he's yeah, I've heard him all my life. As a kid, I'm hearing Jimmy. I'm hearing Johnny Mathis Christmas songs on the radio. My parents are playing the radio, and then of course songs like "Chances Are," "'Cause I wear a silly grin the moment you come into the room," and of course "Wonderful, Wonderful." So I say to myself, it's wonderful, wonderful. Oh, so wonderful to me. And the 12th of never until the 12th of never. And that's a long, long time. I get misty just holding your hand. And a slew of others. It's not for me to say. And his hits with Denise Williams, like Too Much, Too Little, Too Late from the 80s, right? Yeah. It'll be wonderful to see him. I hope that all goes well. And I just figured it was a life experience, but I put myself further in debt by doing it. I usually say no to things like that, but and just go for the cheap stuff, but every once in a while, Georgia Peach talking to Ted Richards. So let me go back to the title, see what I haven't covered. Let me go to my channel here. So we talked about some new church info. Bob in the house update. Well, what can I tell you? Oh, yes, don't forget the BMW pictures are coming. They're coming. Where did they go, though? Things disappear on me sometimes. I've got them. I've only got 2, but I have actually more shots of this. But to talk from the heart about the video that Aiden's father shot, Gregory, I just thought, wow, was that man ever Elvis Aaron Presley? I look at 2011 Pastor Bob, and my personal opinion, I speak of possibilities. I could be wrong. I'm looking at Elvis, period. But this man I'm seeing at the house, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. I understand people can put in brown contacts. He would have had time to do it because I guess Willina answered the door. This has always been the big question. What happened to Robert Wayne Joyce if there's another man who called himself Bob Joyce starting in 2010, for example? Where's Robert Wayne? I can't tell you the amount of people that tell me that he passed away. I heard that. Well, that's not a source because I'll still say it, but I have a video here called "Did Robert Wayne Joyce Die in a Car Accident?" I do have that video because I'd heard so many people tell me that, but no substantial source, no substantial source. So I don't think it's been confirmed that Willina Joyce is the Germany girlfriend of Elvis. We all think that she is, but I speak of possibilities. Yes, Nancy is going, so go with go to praise the Lord and go to say hello to the pastor, but keep your I don't have to tell you this, already, keep your eyes and ears open. Joanne Parker lives in Quebec, Montreal, just like Chantal lives in something with Jean in the title, which is not too far from Montreal. But she's going to try to go, Joanne, but it's going to take a while. Yeah, probably it'd be better, Joanne, to wait till the new church is open, but don't be fooled. Now we're getting into warm weather, and 300 seats are not going to be enough. I don't know what they're going to have as the overflow room out there, but they definitely can't open without one. So that would be my personal opinion. I'm sure they want to hear that, right? ah, did Priscilla know of her, Jack? That's a very good question. Well, I remember a press conference that Elvis gave when he got back to the States, and he said a couple of lines so that we're pure, cover your buttski. Cure. Oh yeah, there was talk in the press about this girl over there was overblown and this and that, but nothing serious and all that. You know, of course, I would see people, women would be friendly to me and what have you. We have another Todd, and it's a Todd B. Hi, Jack. Hi, Todd. Where are you from? I don't know if we still have Todd Bradshaw with us or not. I don't know. Um, but where are you from, Todd? So he did say a couple of things that played that down because Priscilla saw those stories too. They did cover it. He seems to have this little cute, uh, young, they're always young, girl that he's hanging with a lot. And it's a lot of different pictures. It wasn't just a fan. She wasn't the one who handled his fan mail. That was somebody else. So I remember that press conference where he played that down. So, of course, she would have known because she had a television set, Indiana wants me. Lord, I can't go back there. I wish I had you to talk to. Are you old enough to know that song, Indiana Wants Me, by R. Dean Taylor? I was going to say R.B. Greaves. That's Take a Letter, Maria. R. Dean Taylor, he had one hit, and that was it. And it was about your state. He can't go back there because the cops will put him in the silver bracelets. I used to carry silver bracelets in my duty belt when I pretended to be a peace officer for 19 years for the city of New York. It was pure acting. Of course, everybody knew I was the Gomer Pyle of the group, but they also knew I was good for some things. And the clients loved me because they knew I didn't want to arrest them. I didn't even know how to do the paperwork. But I would be where I was supposed to be. And I swear if I had been attacked, there are clients, homeless men clients, that would have jumped in and helped me because they knew I wasn't looking to arrest them for one joint and then go home and smoke one. Not that I did, but some of the officers that did arrest for one joint in the 80s, 90s, they did go home and smoke a joint. Not the one that they confiscated, though. Who knows what was in that? Yeah, baby. So, do you like Indiana, Todd? Was I like Barney Fife? In a few moments, if anybody was paying attention, yes, yes. But I just stayed out of the conflicts. This is what I learned, Neo. Someone comes on the radio. We need officers in A building, main building, G barracks, H barracks. We need officers to respond, fight in progress. I would go. But I would take my sweet time because I knew the gung ho young officers would get there first. The first two that get there, the first guy is going to be the arresting officer who does the bulk of the paperwork, and the other officer is going to be the assisting. But they're going to be walking into conflicts that they are going to be much better prepared to handle than me because even though I was younger then, I was, I started. See, I started in 1988. So what was I? I I was 22. No, 56, 66, 76. I was 32, 32. So I was much younger there, but I was just never, I was a disc jockey. I'd already been on a number of radio stations, and I would do part-time radio 11 of the 19 years I was there at this homeless shelter. So I just learned how not to be the guy. And it was well known. It was well known. So there were a couple of times when I would, I would always have if I thought there was any chance that it was going to come to me to put handcuffs on someone, I would open them in advance because I was never good at snapping them on someone's wrist that they could do without hurting the person. One time I tried to do that, and the guy goes, "Ow!" So there was a Barty Five moment. I didn't know how to handcuff somebody. Oh, why do I say these things? But yeah, I was a disc jockey. I took the peace officer job because I had had a whole lot of security experience, been a post supervisor, a captain in the security, had people working for me. So they thought, well, this guy must have a little police in him. I didn't. I was working in freaking Ralston Purina dog chow plants, steel plants, and some really cool gigs in Hollywood, California for burn security. I've told some of those stories. I walked out of Bill Cosby's concert with pics and videos, unbeknownst to his secretary. I walked out of I think you're saying Cosby, concert with pics and videos. Well, you'll have to email me about that, because that sounds interesting, Robin. Jack the Fair Guy at gmail.com. FIIR, Jack the Fair Guy, not .com, Jack the Fair Guy at gmail.com. Jack the Fair Guy at gmail.com. I'd like to hear more about that. Security and his manager in the green room. Yes, every TV show has a green room for the guest. I'd like to know more about that. If you don't mind, Robin, Jack the Fair Guy at gmail.com. Don't spill your guts here, okay? Let's see if this is something for a video, even if it's anonymous. But of course, if they watch this video. So, Tessie J is talking to Todd, our newest Todd, but where are you, Todd Bradshaw? And cooking is not my forte. Well, I can cook a few things, Ted Richards. I can cook sausage and peppers, chicken and dumplings. Obviously, I can bake chicken. And I used to make my mom's version of beef stew on the stove. And instead of using gravy in the water, I would put some Heinz ketchup. That's how my mom made it, and my kids loved it. So my first wife made it that way. It's like a nice tomato broth in the water with the potatoes and the carrots and the onions. Not big on celery. I think celery is much better uncooked. That's just my feeling. And Karen likes to experiment with some weird stuff, and I say it doesn't belong in there. It doesn't belong. So right now we have 87 still watching. Sounds like an interesting story, Robin. I'd like to hear more. Maybe Nancy will go out to the new site while she's there. But I know what you're saying. You kind of wish it was in downtown Benton, but they want to get away from Benton because there's too many rules and regulations. Some cities are like that. I live in one that's kind of like that, but it's since COVID, things are relaxed. And I can tell you one thing that is relaxed. They don't catch anywhere near as many speeders as they used to. First of all, with catch and release here in the state of New York, they figure what's the point if it's a minor traffic incursion. And when they do stop someone, there can be as many as 3 or 4 police cars because there's usually only one officer in each. Well, we're going to be wrapping up soon, so get your last comments in. That is Karen on the microphone. Hartswell. That is my Karen. Yeah. I don't own her. She's not my Karen, but that is her. And she's on the other side too, holding up a Dark Shadows book at the Tarrytown Dark Shadows Festival. Also on that side, we have the cartoon from Shelley in Australia, cartoon version of me. Under the pink Cadillac with Elvis, I realize when I brought the camera down, you can't see Elvis's face anymore. We have Alexandra Molka, who played Victoria Winters on Dark Shadows. I don't think she's going to come up to Lyndhurst. I hope she just drives up and comes and sees us because we would love to see her on Saturday afternoon. Alexandra, Saturday afternoon. She still lives in New York City, as far as I know, very involved with a museum down there. And she never has really gone to Dark Shadows events. She has met with the cast from time to time and did a Zoom event. She participated in that. She's about 77, 78 years old now. Alexandra Molka, the beloved Victoria Winters, who was only on Dark Shadows from the first episode, first person you see, in March of 66 to the end of 1968. And she was pregnant and she left at that time. They did not want to let her out of her contract. So she had to get a lawyer. That's how the story goes. Well, she's not going to be watching me, so I guess I could add this one more fascinating tidbit about Alexandra, who married a gentleman named Isles, and that marriage lasted for a while, and then they got a divorce. But would eventually have a second husband, but before that, she became known as the mistress for Klaus von Bülow. Klaus von Bülow, who was said to have put his wife in a coma, Sonny. People remember this story? Alexandra was called to testify in that trial. I don't know if you can find that clip anymore on YouTube. To me, he was not worthy of Alexandra. He was not worthy. But she was very smitten with him. And then she married another chap who I know nothing about, who would have passed away at some point. And Nancy Barrett from Dark Shadows will be at this event. Go to Lyndhurst Mansion and see if they have any tickets for the Dark Shadows event, July 19th and 20th. We'll be there on Saturday afternoon. It's Saturday and Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, Saturday afternoon, and a cocktail party at night in the Lyndhurst Mansion, both, I believe, Saturday and Sunday, at least Saturday. And that costs more. So there you go. Thank you, Ted Richards. Plan on pizza tonight for birthday and maybe some ice cream too. Enjoy. Great show, Jack, and thanks for all the conversation from the family here. What a great group of souls. Amen, amen, amen. So I didn't show the really cool BMW. I don't have great shots of it, but it's from the 60s and it's orange. Almost looks like a Rambler in the front. This was parked at the YMCA in the parking lot. Gentleman from Tennessee who was visiting this area, and his name is Rob, and here he is. He said I could take his picture. Here's Rob. These Google Photos came in. I might have showed this before, but he's in front of the YMCA gym there, the workout room. And nice guy who said I could buy that car. I could buy that car for $28,000. So there you go. Very, very cool. Read some scripture. I haven't even packed yet. It's only one night, so I Don't need a lot of stuff, but you got to have everything from your meds to your toiletries and stuff like that. Put on my other glasses. Okay. I wish I could remember that passage in Jeremiah that leads to Jesus, but I can't think of the number right now. Get your last comments in. First Corinthians chapter 4 in the New King James Version, a few verses from chapter 4. Let a man so consider us as servants of Christ and stewards of the mysteries of God. Moreover, it is required in stewards that one be found faithful. But with me it is a very small thing that I should be judged by you or by a human court. In fact, I do not even judge myself. For I know of nothing against myself, yet I am not justified by this, but he who judges me is the Lord. Therefore judge nothing before the time until the Lord comes, who will both bring to light the hidden things of darkness and reveal the counsels of the heart. Then each one's praise will come from God. From 1 Corinthians chapter 4. Shelley comes in very late, 2 hours in. Where were you, Shelley? Watch the replay. We'll be back Saturday night at 10 o'clock. It's we're 1 hour and 57 minutes in, 85 still watching and 90 likes. Please subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. Let's get to 10,000 subscribers, okay? Be sure to watch our newest video, which is doing very well. I'm very happy about that. Not good enough to, really meet the meager bottom line that I have, but better than some. Better than some. Wild new Bob Joyce video, well over 3,000 views now. Thank you for that. And thank you for including the replay audience, the thanks button, our Cash App, lowercase letters, for any amount, $1, $2, $5, $10. It all helps me very much. I definitely need it. That would be Media Guy, lowercase letters, Media Guy 56, Media Guy 56. Alrighty. And back to the live stream. Okay, Shelley, you deserve to have a life. Don't get me wrong. So there you go. So we plan on being back Saturday night at 10 Eastern. I'm going to try to have that UFO video, which we shot from the back window. UFOs in the area on Friday. Andy was working on that. He may have to reformat it, but he's got it all saved. And you'll see some baby UFOs. So thanks again, everybody. My personal email, jackthefairguy@gmail.com. Thank you, Jody Smith, for hitting the thanks button for $1. Thank you very, very much, Jody. That's right down there at the bottom of the screen. Any amount is very much appreciated. Very much appreciated. We don't get the views that others get. whether they put up other people's work and use their name or whatever. Um, I don't have the tech skills. Thank God for Andy, who can come in and roll in video for us as he did, and our new creation there, talking about the chap, Gregory Pritchard, who visited Pastor Bob Joyce's house. That's doing very well. Thank you, Jody. Thank you, everybody. My name is Jack Willard, and this has been Worldwide Ramblings.